We are getting reports that 11 people have been rescued. Each of them, remember, has to be pulled through the cave by expert divers. It is such a risky and complicated operation. So let's take you straight there to Tam Luang. Our correspondent Dan Johnson is there. And Dan, signs of ambulances with sirens going. Tell us what you've witnessed in the past few minutes or so.
Yes, a 9th ambulance just left here and headed away down the road, taking another of the boys to hospital. So that's a sign that the rescue mission that was restarted again this morning is continuing in a successful way. And we understand that further up that road by the cave entrance, there are 2 more boys who've been brought to the surface and are just being checked over. They will be put into ambulances shortly and driven away to hospital too. So that would mean there's only 1 more boy and their 25-year-old coach left in the cave still to be rescued. We understand that rescue operation is underway. The officials in charge said this morning that they were confident in the experience that they've gained over the last 2 days of bringing these boys out, that they could complete this rescue operation today and make sure that everyone is safe. But even when the boys and their coach are out, there are still other people to follow. There's a doctor who's been in there treating them for the last few days. He has to be brought to safety, along with 3 of the Royal Thai Navy divers who were the first team to actually reach the boys 8 days ago now. They were the ones who discovered them alive deep under that hillside in the furthest depths of that cavern, and those 3 Navy divers have been with them for the last 8 days. So they themselves, as part of the rescue team, have now gone through something of an ordeal, and everyone's aware that they have to be brought to safety too. So it looks like this rescue operation is now reaching a conclusion, and it's so far been thoroughly successful. Let's hope that continues.
Indeed, Dan. As each of the boys come out and there is news of that, what is the atmosphere like? Do you feel the sort of growing sense of euphoria there, that this has all gone so well?
Yes, you can feel the tension being shed off in layers with each ambulance that comes out, with each confirmation we get that another boy is safe and is on his way to hospital. Now, some of the parents have been keeping a vigil up by the cave entrance ever since this ordeal started 18 days ago. Most of those were moved to the main town, to Chiang Rai, a couple of days ago when officials said this rescue attempt was going to begin. So they're waiting at the hospital, although they haven't been able to be reunited yet, even with the boys who are already safe. There are lots of safety checks, health checks to be carried out to make sure those boys are all right, to assess exactly what impact this ordeal has had on their physical well-being and their mental health as well. So everyone knows that there is a lot more still to do, but the relief is certainly pouring across the fields here that are covered in the world's media, because the eyes of everyone around the globe have been on the entrance of that cave waiting for these boys to emerge. Well, it looks like we don't have to wait much longer until they're all out.
Indeed, Dan. I wonder if those boys who have been rescued just realise how many people have been watching the entrance to this cave, wishing them well from all over the world. We know one of them's asked for chocolate, which seemed to me to be a great sign. Do we know if any of them have been talking yet about their experiences, about what they've actually been through as they were brought out of the cave?
We were told this morning by the medics who are in charge treating them that the boys, the 8 who were in hospital overnight, are all sat up and are responsive. We've not been told much about what they've been saying, but as you say, some of them have been asking for their favourite food. They may not be able to have that yet because their digestive systems have to be readjusted, having not eaten properly for more than 2 weeks. They didn't eat at all really for 10 days while they were stuck alone in darkness, and they've only really had soft food, drinks and protein gels over the last few days, and even once they're out they can't just start eating solid food again. So I'm not sure the chocolate request will be fulfilled anytime soon, and they're not even allowed their favourite spicy food yet. It's going to take some time for these boys to get back to normality after what they've been through. We can't see them through the windows of the ambulances, which are blacked out, but we don't know if they can see us, and that might be the first glimpse they get of the line of cameras that is here, bringing these pictures to people around the world, letting the world know that they are finally safe after everything they've been through. I'm sure they'll get an appreciation of that over the next few days. They have an invite to the World Cup final. FIFA has said there are seats there for them if they can get to safety and if they feel up to it, but the medics this morning said, look, they need at least a week in hospital. They're weakened after what they've been through. They've lost weight. They've got all sorts of different ways in which they need to readjust after this. So don't think we'll see them at the World Cup. The doctors said they'll be watching it on TV though, because they are a football team. That's the passion that brought them together. They went in that cave as a team, and hopefully by the end of today they'll be reunited, even if it is in hospital.
It's great to have such good news, Dan. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's hope they set up some pretty big screens in the hospital, which we can show you right now, actually. This is in Chiang Rai, the hospital where the boys are being taken to by ambulance and sometimes by chopper. Yeah, they won't be in Moscow for the World Cup final, but hopefully they'll get to watch the final, the semi-finals, possibly even on big screens. I wonder which teams they are supporting. We also know, actually, the boys are wearing sunglasses because they've been in darkness for so long. So it's a very gradual process, just bringing them back into the normal world. Concerns about infection with the boys and just getting them used to natural light as well. But such good news coming to us from northern Thailand.